Hi guys, our next question for science is how does light travel? Now, when we're talking about how light travels, this is something that has been discussed amongst thinkers for years and years and years. There was these two guys in ancient Greece. One guy's name was Pythagoras and one guy's name was Epicurus. And they both had these ideas about how light traveled. Pythagoras, who by the way is like a really smart guy, if you pay attention in junior high math, you're gonna learn about a Pythagorean theorem that was invented by him. He had this idea where what happened when we saw things is that light came from our eyes and went to whatever we were looking at. So if I was looking across the room at a chair, the light was coming from my eyes to the chair. We've found out since that he was totally wrong. Light does not come from our eyes and go to things, because if that was the case, we'd be able to see everything all the time, even if the lights were off in a room. So Pythagoras was wrong. This other guy, Epicurus, made a different kind of argument. He said that everything we looked at had its own light and that it would radiate this light to our eyes. Right? So if I was looking at that same chair, the light would come from the chair and go to my eyes. Now, he's also been proven wrong for the same reason, because how come I can't see the chair if the lights are off? Later on, some other thinkers like Ptolemy went ahead and found that, you know what? Not everything creates its own light, right? Light comes from these things called light sources. We're going to talk a little bit more about light sources in our next video. In this case, I'm going to talk about our main light source on Earth, which is the sun. Now, when we draw the sun, we'll see that we usually draw it as like a circle like this, but we also draw these things around it. And these things around it are really important. These things around it that we draw are called light rays. And what they are is they're showing that the light is leaving the sun, going outward from the sun, and it travels in straight lines. So that's the reason we draw these lines like this, is that light travels in a straight line. I can show that with my flashlight here, that when I turn it on, if I'm pointing it towards you, you can see the light that's there. But if I turn it away from you, you can't see that light anymore. It doesn't open up and travel in all different directions unless the light is like the sun, where it is circular and going in all different directions. But with my flashlight, since it's concentrating the light in one direction, it will only be seen in that area. Now, the other thing that we do when we draw these light rays is we draw them as straight lines, which is pretty accurate. The light rays are actually little tiny squiggles. They're called light waves, but it does travel in these straight lines. Once again, if I show you my flashlight on my hand here, you'll see that when I put my hand, it blocks the light. It doesn't go around it like, say, if I was putting my hand in a river of water, that if I put my hand in, the waves would just come around it. With light, if it hits my hand, it stops. So light travels outward from a source, and it travels in straight lines. All right, make sure you answer the question after this video, guys. Thanks.